Hey everybody, this is CJ Meenan from Street Startups. I'm here as always with my partner Tracy Syfax. How are you, Tracy?
Oh, we're doing great, CJ. Once again, always glad to be back here. And once again, like I always say, we might be locked in, but we are not locked out of opportunities and not locked out of doing business. So I am honored to be here today, of course, because my man is on the stage.
Oh boy, we have an exciting day, right? A great friend of Street Startups. Our first guest ever on the podcast is back. Tracy, why don't you introduce our audience?
Oh man, introduce him like no one can. Someone that I've known for my 25 years that I've been in business. So it gives me great honor and great pleasure to bring someone I call a friend and a mentor onto Street Startup this morning. My dear friend John Harmon. John is the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce of the state of New Jersey, representing some over 80,000 Black-owned businesses here in the state of New Jersey. It's just an honor to have him on because he has the pulse on the economics of this state and where we are as a community and where we are, especially in this climate. So it's a great honor to bring someone who can speak specifically to where we are and where we are economically and where we need to go. And the great opportunity that we have lies ahead of us. So John, it's an honor to bring you on this morning, my good friend, and welcome to Street Startups, and glad to have you back.
Well, Tracy, CJ, I tell you, I mean this wholeheartedly, man. It's a special bond that we have between us. We're committed to helping those who desire to be helped. This is what this is all about. I mean, you guys do an amazing job in trying to really leverage talent that many people don't know exists. And the secret sauce that you guys provide in your programming is transformational. And we're just excited to be a part of that.
Thank you, John. You know, Tracy, this is you and I when all the pandemic and the situation started coming up in different cities across this country, especially after the George Floyd situation. You know, you and I sat down and we said, we need to do something. We need to do what we do well, which is help people with economic empowerment. And we said, okay, who are we going to call? And we both said, we're going to call John. And we called John and said, John, what can we do? We need to get into different cities where we're needed, where economic empowerment's needed, where entrepreneurship's needed. That was what, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And guess what? We talked to John, said we want to get some programs started. John said, hey, I have some things in the works. We can get you guys in there, get you connected. And guess what? We're going to launch in September. We're going to launch 2 new programs to help folks start businesses in cities in New Jersey where they're needed. So my message right off the bat is, if you don't have a friend like John Harmon in your network who can get things done, go find one today, right? That's it. So thank you, John. But John, you know, we've talked a lot about this issue of economic empowerment and what entrepreneurs need to do in communities today. You're out there seeing what needs to be done at all the levels. Give us your insights on what entrepreneurs can be doing now.
Well, CJ and Tracy, the COVID-19 situation and then the unrest as it relates to the brutal murder of George Floyd and others, ironically has set the stage for some real opportunities. The engagement of government, the engagement of corporations, the engagement of financial institutions across America, there's a real different feel in society. And so I interact with these leaders all the time, but the conversation is different, it's more substantive, it's more focused. And so there's real opportunities that are taking place in the marketplace today. I would say at an unprecedented level, but again, we need men and women who are serious about engagement, serious about standing up their enterprises to raise their hand, to get connected to the resources, opportunities, and information that will help them realize their dreams. So that's what's taking place today in society. I just saw one of my colleagues Rising Tide Capital in Jersey City got a $5 million grant from PayPal. That's a big number. And Jillian, I know, is going to leverage those resources by way of grants to help many businesses, some of which folks that you have provided mentorship, technical service, and educational models to. So right now, if you are really, you have an existing business, you have a desire to start a business, this is the opportunity to really connect with the two of you, connect with the African American Chamber and others to move your vision to a reality.
Yeah, and I think too, John, just to add to that, we talk about some of these startups and helping folks get off the ground. But at Street Startups, we like to say this is where the underground economy meets mainstream economy. We have a lot of folks that are actually quasi in business now that need to begin to step up and take their business to a next level. And as the young folks say, start having receipts. I mean, and the fact that in order for you to grow your business, in order for you to scale your business, you have to begin to put those receipts in order and have those things available. So looking at the state of the economy now, and we're into this mode of buy Black and support Black businesses and support the Black community. What do you say to those folks who have been on the fence of doing business the right way and been on the fence of really taking their business to a next level? How can we make sure we encourage those folks to get involved?
Tracy, it's an excellent question. I want to go back and then I want to get right into the heart of your question, but just think, most businesses, particularly businesses in urban communities, your retail, your barbershops, your hair salons, retail stores, many of them have been closed as long as 90 days. All right? 90 days, and I would say before they were closed, they were doing okay, but they still were not getting their equitable share of business.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a fact, right? So there's some stats to say that they only had, those that were in business might have had only 27 days of resources or operating capital to sustain it. So if they've been out of business 90 days, 60 days, they were totally out of money, out of inventory, totally broke. And so that is one major issue. And then two, this underground economy, people are doing business without receipts, off the books. It might feel good to have a wad of cash in your pocket, but when you have major incentive programs, PPP, the idle loan, I mean, you have trillions of dollars on the street. They can't partake because they cannot connect with the mainstream. So the term resources, opportunities, information, all those things contribute to your success. That's assuming that you've met the right protocols, right? You have a QuickBooks system where you're managing your resources. You have a banking account. You have an accountant. You have an attorney. You can produce profit and loss statements, income statements. If you can produce that type of information, you're in the mainstream economy. If you cannot answer yes to that, you're still operating underground, and the costs and the consequences of doing business that way will marginalize you every time. And so we cannot continue to make excuses for people who are still operating in the 50s, and we're here in 2020. And I speak to the Black community in particular because, there's still a lot of, there's too much emotion in the business conversation. There's business, and then there's emotion. There's very little room for emotion when you're talking business. Emotion may get you in the room. It's going to take a value proposition to sustain engagement. And so many of these businesses, this is the time to get it right. The federal government has just extended the PPP program to August 8th. You know, as a former banker, I've been, doing this a long time. When I say to you, this money is like money you can just grab off the shelf. It is that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The basic questions is name of your business, how long you've been in business, your tax ID number, what is your bank routing number, what is your bank account number, how much income you made last year, gross, what is your gross expenses. All you need is two numbers and then your third number. That's the application. Now, if you have your ducks in a row, it may take you 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have it, it may take you an hour. But once you percent, right now, 2 days a week, you got money go right into your account, no closing. So during the busy time, it took maybe a month or two, but I'm hearing people getting loans, getting this money the same day in 48 hours. So if you have 2 employees immediately on the idle loan, that's $2,000. And then based on your information, they automatically qualify you for a loan. Then they come back and say, hey, by the way, you qualify for, let's say, $10,000 or $50,000. And then you answer a few more questions. That's it. You don't have to show up at a closing.
Yeah. No, it's that simple. And now on top of that, they telling people we may forgive that loan. So now Tim's lender came out and said, listen, we know we lent you some money. We know we want monthly payments, but now we're thinking about just forgiving the whole loan. So, I mean, you can't get no easier.
Truth be told, Tracy, I'll bet you a steak dinner that if Joe Biden becomes president, there's a high probability it'll all be forgiven. There's a high probability it's going to all be forgiven. And the grant portion was already forgiven. This current administration. So we have until August 8th, a whole month now, to draw down $130 billion is what they have on the table right now. African American Chamber of Commerce can assist you with your application. For free.
Free.
We're not going to come to your house and go in your drawers and get your papers.
But
we're waiting for it, brother. Is this really real? Is it real? I yield back. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
That's great. That's great. So, folks, you heard it. The chamber's not going to come to your house and fill the paperwork out for you, but they are there to help you. And that's an important resource in our communities. Tracy, give us our final thoughts.
Well, final thoughts is once again we talk about this and say this all the time, CJ. The Business Club is one of the most inclusive clubs in the country. And we have an opportunity to participate on a small level. We have an opportunity to participate on a larger level. And I think the times that we're living in right now is there's no uncertainty. Your job is not guaranteed to be there forever. And we have to start looking at taking our talents and be creative on how we bring in additional income, not only to ourselves, but to our family. And we have a great opportunity to do this. I talked last week. If you can't name 5 positive things that you've gotten out of 115 days of isolation, lack of time was not your problem. So having a plan on how we move forward and how we look at business as a community as a whole, I think is at our feet right now. And all the atmosphere and the climate has put us right where we need to be in a crisis and making sure that we need to have businesses and economic opportunities in our community. So I think we're not in a better place, John. We're in a bad place, but I think we're in a good place. And
I agree.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, John, for coming on board and dropping those nuggets on us. And remember, folks out there, the man said free. They can help you access over $100 billion in loans and PPP money, and they're willing to do it for free, but he's not going to come to your house and get your receipts out the drawer. Help him help you. So that's my final thoughts.
Okay, folks. So thank you so much, as always, for listening. I want to thank our guest, the founder and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce here in New Jersey, and a friend to street startups, Mr. John Harmon. John, thank you as always. Tracy, thank you for being here. And folks, we will see you next time on Street Startups. Peace.